Big Boys Neighborhood, your girl Ayydé here with Tory Lanez.
What's up?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you here. Congratulations. Sophomore album out. Memories Don't Die.
Yeah.
We got to salute to that. Cheers,
Yes,
toast.
sure.
Let's kick it off real good right here. Some honey.
Honey and Coke in the morning.
That tastes so good.
That's dope.
That's how it should be done. I want to kick it off with this. I know you've been in a lot of interviews recently, but I really want to know what this album means to Tory Lanez.
It just means a collective of like memories that I've had in the past and also memories that are to come. And just the fact that like I always remember these moments and like certain memories that will always stick with me. Me just shedding light on those situations and the fact that those memories won't die in my head because of whatever.
Of all the situations,
yeah, you know?
or whatever it's been. I don't know how many people have peeked this out, but you have a total of 18 tracks. You started off with Memories, and you ended with Don't Die. I was like, yo, like, it was really dope. I love that you did that. What are some specific memories that really, like, stand out to you when you're writing Memories, kicking off with the first track?
Honestly, just I don't know. You mean like as far as just like experiences that I've had, or just
like were there any moments like while you were penning this down?
Just like even in the intro, the first couple seconds of the intro, like when I first start, because I made a conscious decision to just not go directly into like just rapping like I usually do on all my albums, but this one I just wanted to have that passageway even in the first like 10 to 20 seconds of the intro, just talking about like where I was at and like where I'm at in life right now, like, you know, old friends become strangers and like new friends become dangerous, and like that's just a place that I'm at in my life, like where a lot of like all my real old friends that like I you know, grew up with, they're still here, but like certain friends that like we may have been friends for a period of time or a season of time, and whatever has gotten clouded in the middle of, it's like they've either done like treacherous, crazy, wild, stupid shit, or it's, you know,
One or the other,
you know, or new people have come in my life and like, you know, just been kind of more ascetic than, you know, good.
I find that so interesting though, because I think as like you grow, you know, and you evolve into this new person, people like to say like, oh, you changed.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's like, what was I supposed to do? Stay the same?
Yeah, nah, you know what it is? It's crazy because it's like it's not necessarily all the time that the artist changes. Sometimes it's the people who are around the artist, their views of the artist change. You know, it's like you grow up with somebody and they get signed. You and this person grow up together, they get signed, and the first time they get signed, you're happy for them because you know they're your friend and you wish the best for them. Then their life starts getting a little bit more busy, and so whether or not they have less time to talk to you, you just see that their life is a little bit more busy. What ends up being the problem is not that you are jealous of all those things. What ends up being the problem is once your friends start comparing their lives to yours, that's what creates the jealousy and the other things that come with it. You know what I'm saying? It's when people compare their lives to your life. And you've done whatever, you've gone through your struggles for whatever you're going through, and they've either aided you along the way and vice versa, you've done the same for your friends, but for some reason your path took you a different way. And when they compare their path to your path, sometimes it's like it may have not been written in the stars for you to be popping right now, but maybe later on in life your path will be where I'm not popping and you're popping. You know what I'm saying? But that's life. Some people can't wait for that result. Some people can't wait for that realize. You know what I mean?
No, it's so true. And even kicking off Memories, you say, remember me for being laughed at. Are there any of those type of people that might have doubted you in the beginning and were like, oh yeah, right, like you're gonna make it, that are now trying to make a comeback in your life?
Sure. I mean, a lot of people, me and my manager Sasha, we were just talking about this the other day, like it's so many people that just were telling us that it wasn't gonna work, like it's just not gonna work. Like I was doing countless mixtapes and just putting mixtapes out, and like, you know, people were like just saying a bunch of stuff. They would go to Sasha like, yo, you know, we don't want to book him for this, that, and the third, and like, you know, just a bunch of stuff. It's like they just try to make it seem like it just wasn't gonna work, and they always told us no, but we always just said yes, and like no matter what. And like that's a lesson to anybody who's watching this. Like sometimes people are just set in your life at certain points of your life to just tell you no, and it's like you got to remember like that they're just like they've been put there to just test how much you believe in yourself. It's not necessarily saying that you shouldn't actually do something. It's just something in life has put them there to test how much you believe in it. And you should never lose your belief in the things, because after you get past these people, you will succeed, you know?
You know
That's what I know.
Something that I really love about you is that after all those all those people saying no to you, and now where you're at now and reaching your success, that you've remained, to me, so humble, where I feel like also a lot of people would say that you're arrogant or this and that. But
I'm not arrogant.
Something that you did for this album, and I want to know why you did this, you're giving away free shows.
Yeah,
LA, New York,
we did
Toronto,
a lot of free things.
Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
Why did you decide to do that?
What it was, we did a lot of things that were just giving back to the fans who've been here and the family who've been here before, like, you know, I was popping, and in the times when I'm not on cycle and I'm not dropping 50 songs, or I'm not, you know, dropping a single on the radio. For the people who stayed down and stayed supportive in those times, I wanted to make sure that I gave back to them, because I knew that in this time, all of these things that I was doing were going to be prior to the album dropping. So what we were doing, we were calling kids on FaceTime. We had like a list of like 5,000 kids, 7,000 kids that pre-ordered the album, that we were just calling on FaceTime, calling people as much as we could. We saved them in a whole like login, so we didn't miss anybody. We were calling people, and just doing things like that, giving back to people who took the time out of their day to still support before the hype. Because I knew once the album came out, everyone was gonna start running around. Oh my gosh, where has Tory been? So wow, he's back. It was gonna start running around and just jumping ship. And like before everyone jumps back on the Tory Lanez ship, I just wanted to make sure that I highlighted the people who care. You know what I'm saying? So the free shows was also something that we did so that people could just go to a show, have a good experience there, and like really get something that you don't normally get. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times people they go to these little album release parties, and you know the artist may come in and he stands there and stuff. But it's like, nah, like I want to give y'all a free show, first come first serve. Whoever gets there gets in. Like, you know what I mean? And in Toronto, it was like 3,000 kids standing outside in the cold. Wow. You know what I mean? For 500 people venue. You know what I mean? And we specifically made it small because even though I sell out a lot of numbers in these venues, I just wanted to, or in these markets, I just wanted to make sure that like whatever I was doing was very intimate. And that's only for whoever got in first and who cared enough to get in first. You know what I'm saying? And
that's something that they're never going to forget. And a lot of these kids like don't have the money or, you know, that opportunity to go see their artist. Exactly. And something about you that's really dope, if anybody's gotten a chance to see him live, is how much you do have contact with your fans. Like, you're out there like just rocking out. I love that about you. How do you like, because this to me is a different Tory Lanez and show Tory Lanez. Like, what helps you get into that mode?
My fans, honestly, the people I'm looking at, the people I'm looking at, you know, just to see them going crazy and to see how much they care about it. It's like, it reminds me how much I care about it. You know what I'm saying? Because like, this music is speaking to them in a different volume than I'm making it. Like, I'm making it at a volume to speak to me in a certain way, but the way that it's transcending to them is like, it's so much more bigger. So for me, it's just like advantageous for me to just look inside the crowd and see what everybody else is doing, and to kind of you know, just get the energy from them.
I love that. Let's get into Hate to Say, which has so many things that we can break down and talk about. One that I really like is that you had a kind of like a Selena moment. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but Selena goes into like this boutique, right? And she's with her friend and she's looking at these dresses, and it's a white lady, and she looks at her like, you know, doubting her because she afford that dress, right? And when she asks for the price tag, they ask, but except that they didn't buy the dress. They walk out. You had a similar moment, but you ended up dropping $35K. For those that haven't gotten a chance to listen to Hate to Say, why did you drop that $35K in that store?
Well, like I just specifically, I had an interview just about this the other day. What it is like, for me, there was an allotted budget that I was actually shooting a music video for that, you know, I was in Canada, by the way. The store is called Hope Renfrew. It's the only place you go to get high-end designer in Canada. I had a video to shoot that same day, so I ran to Hope Renfrew, and I had a budget for wardrobe, probably like 20 to 25K, you know, for wardrobe and things to go buy, you know what I'm saying? And we went in the store, and of course I was going to spend a little bit of my own money too, because I like getting fly. Like, I like the dress. Like, I style myself, so every time people see me, it's like I went out and I specifically, you know, I specifically I did this myself. Like, I specifically looked in for the shirt, and I tried it on, and I cut the bottom of my shirts. Like, just today, I was just in the bathroom, and I said to myself, I'm never going to put this part of my belt back in this part of the loop. Well, I don't know about never, but from now on, I'm just going to rock my belts like this. And
so you start right there.
And I'm just doing this from now on. Like, I'm just going to keep the end of my belt out here. And I don't know why I'm doing it, but that's what I'm doing. I'm just a person who just, when I do it, I just do it selectively for me. So when I went inside the store, I went in there to shop. Like, I went in there to spend the allotted budget that I had for the music video. When I went in, there was this dude, and I guess I was in sweats. I was like underdressed, you know, whatever. I'm in tour bus clothes, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we were on tour, so like, you know, I'm whatever. I go in the store, he looks at me this kind of way, like, he gives me this kind of like, you're not gonna spend no money in here look, which I didn't really care about. It was fine, like, I didn't really care. But then I was just like, then he came up to me after, and then he asked me, do you guys want help? You know, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna take my business to this other dude in the store, because it was another dude. He was a younger dude. He looked like he was probably like, you know, the trainee, or like, you know, he was a new dude working. He cared about every single client that was in there. And I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna go with this guy. You know what I'm saying? And because I know that y'all get like a store credit off of this. I know y'all get like
some type of something.
You know what I mean? So I go and I spend the money with the other dude, but mind you, like, we was always going in the store to spend this money, and like, if we didn't spend the money in this store, there was nowhere else to buy what I needed to buy for the video. So it ended up being one of those things where when we bought it, when I was walking out, the reason why I had videotaped him, I was like, it wasn't because I was like, nigga, I spent money in the store. Nah, it was because it's like, I spent money with another employee because you look down at me, and he got a lot of store credit, and I know you're gonna know how much store credit he got off of this because we spent $35K. You know what I'm saying? But this $35K store credit would have went to you, because we, no matter what I looked like, it was supposed to get spent.
I like that. And even in Hate to Say, you break down how much you're making per show, and you're saying 35K is just 35 minutes. And
it is. I mean, for me, like, when I do shows, you know, I do shows at a certain price. Like, everything, and promoters that tell you just off of working, any promoter who's worked with Tory Lanez in the past or whatever cases, they say like he's not a cheap guy to book because of what my shows require. Like, anybody who knows like my show, I'm crowd surfing, I'm doing wild things that I'm risking my life every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, what my shows require is crazy. So when I go to festivals, I go on stage for 60 to 75 minutes or any time longer than an hour and 10, 20 minutes or anything like that. It has to be over 100K. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, when you account it, and like I was saying on Hate to Say on the song on the album, when you account it, if I'm getting $100,000 a show for 100 minutes, then I'm making $1,000 a minute.
Killing it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So if I go inside of a store and I spend $35,000 in it, 35 minutes on stage, I'm on tour. I'm gonna make it back.
And on top of that, you had the budget.
And exactly
for the video
and
shoot.
That's what it was. Like, the budget is for the video shoot. And for those who still don't understand this, like, I'll still break it down like I broke it down in my last interview. Like, I'm a person who likes money. I'm a person who's a businessman. If I need to go shop for a certain clothes in order for me to do a certain video, which is gonna allot me to making more money, then I'm gonna go spend my money in that store to get the clothes that I need. This guy's attitude is not gonna stop me from getting the clothes which I need to allot myself more money from this video that I need to shoot. So for those of you who are just like, I would have never spent money in the store, that's fine. But then the money that would have came after, you wouldn't have got because you didn't look the part that you needed to look for the video to allot yourself more money. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? So
told them at the end of the day, it's your money. Like, I don't know why people get so crazy. It's like, you've worked so hard for it. I was just so confused when people were like so bothered by it. I was like, what you mad at?
I didn't understand it either. Like, I come from a long line of people who don't pocket watch, and like I don't understand it. You know.
Some other topics that are talked about and hate to say are obviously your past beefs.
Why are you babysitting?
Don't make fun of me because I'm a babysitter.
You see, this is babysitting at its finest. Look at me, look at her. I'm down here.
I can't drink that fast. I'm gonna be drunk by the end of this cup. You do get into some of like your past and your, just the past beefs. One that I thought it was hilarious was Sean Kingston watching you from the sidelines at Sumfest.
That's not really a beef. It was just a reflecting thing. Like we were in Jamaica, and this was like the first time that I think Sean had really seen me perform like at a show of mine since I was signed to him when I was like 18, you know what I'm saying?
It's been a while.
So I was in Jamaica doing the Sumfest,
which is a huge show out in Jamaica.
It's an incredible
it's like
show.
The show.
Yeah, it's like the show. And I guess he came to see Popcorn perform. Or not Popcorn, I guess Alkaline at the time, because Alkaline was I guess headlining it. But I was bringing Popcorn up. So
you brought him up.
So boom, yeah. He was on the side watching the show. I remember just bringing him out, and I remember seeing Sean or whatever the case is, and seeing him watching the show. It wasn't that he was in like, a spot on the show that was like some like bum seats or nothing. It wasn't that at all. It was therapeutic to see the person who assigned me when I was 18, and then to be on stage for less than a certain amount of time and make more money than he signed me for in that amount of time I was on stage, and watch that being the first show that we've seen each other. And since he signed me, it was like.
Did you guys talk at all?
Yeah, we talked. It was just like, yo, what's up, da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? We kept it real cordial, and that was about it.
Something else that
Sean's still my dog, isn't it? Like that, but like, it's one of those ones where I can say that, and like, he'll probably call me and be like, oh, the bumba clap, dog. But it's just like, nigga, it's true. And like, he'll be like, yeah, I guess. You know? You know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's good not to have any bad blood. Another one that came up is obviously the one with Travis Scott, with the whole tweeting about writing for him, and something that I
never tweeted about writing for him. I tweeted about writing for other artists.
Gotcha.
A lot of other artists that, I don't know, but everyone just took it like it was.
But you have written for him. That did happen. Chugging. Damn. How am I supposed to keep a... This is going to take me like 30 minutes to finish. He just finished that all like in seconds. You want some more?
I'll pour it in a second.
Cool. Why did you apologize though in the song?
I was just we had a little like just a little incident, and it started off like kind of just like cordial and cool. Not really cordial and cool, because I think he was a little upset and I was a little heated. And then at one point, I think I egged it on just too much, and I just took it to a point where I'm a very nice guy, but this thing I have, like, where it's like, I can only take a certain amount of like disrespect.
Feel you.
And the amount that I can take is at a it's not gonna make sense, but it's at a maximum low.
No, that makes plenty of sense.
Like,
very short tempered.
I can't, because because I'm such a nice guy and I spread so much love that it's like I can't deal with people that disrespect me when I'm not trying to be in disrespectful mode. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he came in and disrespected me to that manner, but I think that's just the fact that he might have been upset at the moment. The way he came about it at the starting, it was a little bit, and we spoke about this, you know what I'm saying,
right.
Whatever the case is, and it is what it is. But at the moment, it just ended up being just like, nah, it's just getting wild, disrespectful. And then I started egging it on, like, let's fade.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think when just looking back, it was mad, not immature, because I guess the moment was it was so hostile that I was just like, yo, my nigga, fuck all this. Like, we're fading, nigga, fuck this. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I think I was just bugging. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, like, so it just ended up being something where I just felt like as a man, I just needed to be like, yo, my bad from a public scale, because I actually don't really talk to him on a text message or nothing. Like, we haven't really spoke. Like, I haven't really, You know what I'm saying? Like, we got each other's numbers at one point, but then we never really spoke like that. Like, so I just wanted on a global scale, just like, all right, you gonna hear this somehow, my nigga.
Which you don't really get nowadays from artists. Like, when there's beef, like, there's beef. Like, it's out there. Like, sometimes it just never ends.
You're right, but it just, for with me and him, it just wasn't really real beef. It was more so just like...
Incident, just like some like petty almost. Like, why did we even get into this?
Yeah, like when we sat back and talked about it, we were like, yeah, this is just really stupid. Like, we're two dudes that like our music is very great. It's like, sorry, I'm just being real ghetto.
You
go ahead. Real ghetto with the ice.
Do what you gotta do. This is my ghetto ice tray.
Cool. It looks like a Chipotle bowl.
It probably is, to be honest.
Cool,
just found it around the kitchen.
Just wash it.
That's what we got.
Wash all the taco sauce. Oh my gosh.
You're like, why does this have salsa on it? Another thing that you talked about is not writing, the song with Meek Mill called Liddy. How's your relationship with Meek Mill? Have you gotten a chance to talk to him now since he's been locked up?
The thing with Meek is I haven't got to talk to him while he was in jail, but I've talked to his camp and like people around him, and we are hopefully right when he gets out, we will finish this project that we was working on.
You were working on a project with him before he got locked up?
Joint project. Free my nigga Meek. You know, just like we have a lot of dope stuff in the works, and so like I'm just excited for everything that's gonna come to him in a positive way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And personally, I feel like a lot of things, like, and just prophetically, just like from God, I think that a lot of things are gonna change in his life. You know what I'm saying? Like from a prophetic standpoint, and I just feel like, you know, he's gonna be in a good situation. And, you know, whether or not we finish our shit, but I know we gonna finish our shit. But whether or not we were to finish our shit or not, like, he's gonna be in a good situation. You know?
How many tracks did you guys already have done for this project?
We're right about to get. The thing is, I had put like 5, 6, 7 songs together. He put 5, 6, 7 songs together, and we were just about to go in and just get in the studio and like start working, like, and then boom.
But it's crazy. It's so crazy to see the movement that's happened since he got locked up, you know? It wasn't just definitely. Okay, he got locked up, it is what it is.
I just don't like all the niggas who fucking, like, cause Meek's really my man, so I just don't like the niggas who fucking, like, the niggas who just, like, and not even, I shouldn't even say the niggas, but just the people who just, like, it's like a halfway rep thing. It's like, yo, when it's trendy, let's say free Meek, and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a trendy thing, like, it's a man that's fighting for his life on the inside. It's like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my homie, so it's like I just want to see him get out of there and just like see the best for him. And it's just like I've seen a lot of people who helped and supported, you know, through the starting of it. Mm-hmm. But it's like at the end of the day, you got to keep supporting. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't support when it's hot to support because I'm an artist. It's right for me to do this. This is the right social move or whatever the case is like. Because then it's not genuine.
Hop on that real quick.
Then it's not genuine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I genuinely be thinking about like, damn, like I wonder what this nigga's going through right now. Dog. Like, I wish this nigga wasn't locked up. Like, I think about that like on a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, so. That's the only thing I don't like. I just wish, you know, if you're going to say it, you're going to say free Meek and you're going to support it, then like, support it full and wholeheartedly, you know what I mean?
No, I feel it 100%. And another thing that gets talked about is obviously squashing the beef with Drake, the famous picture that went up on social and everybody was like, what? Where did that come from? Yeah. Did you like, and speaking of Meek, did you like give him a heads up, like, yo, like, we're cool now? Or like, did that ever get talked about?
Of course. I told Meek, like, I think I told Meek before, I was like, yo, I'm about to go meet up with dude. And just, like, you know, because he knew our whole situation. He was like, you should have been to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you and him have a different thing than me and him have. Like, yo, you guys should have been to that. Right. And, like, I respect it because, like, you know, a lot of dudes, they catch feelings like, oh, man, you gonna really do that or da-da-da. But, like, me, regardless, I had to do it. It was something that just had to be done because of just like our legacies and like just of life, like, and just like looking back at the history books, like when the kids look back, like it's about those moments, you know.
That's really major, and I think like learning from the East Coast and the West Coast with Biggie and Pac. I think that more people should learn from that because it can get real. Like, you know, I feel that rap and being an artist and being in the hip hop, it's a competition nonetheless, and it's cool, but things can really get crazy, and then it could get really, really ugly.
Yeah,
so
a lot of things I think that people don't understand is just like rappers are, I can't speak for everybody, but for certain people that I know specifically, like, because we get famous, is everyone looks at it like, yo, you have this famous life, and you are this guy who's like this famous guy, and everything's all peaches and dandy. But what it is like a regular rich guy and a rapper are two people, right? A rich guy gets rich, and he can do a lot of things. He can do a ton of things. So can a rapper, right? The difference is a rich guy can go to certain places, and certain ailments are not going to come across him because he's a rich guy who's just rich in whatever business he is, and people don't know him. With rappers, we want to wear jewelry, we want to wear chains, we want to enjoy the fruits of our labor. But because we enjoy the fruits of our labor and they're so publicized, we then have to be mindful of the other people who don't have as much, the less fortunate people who don't have what a rapper has. And because what we do, our whole everything is touching people who, everything is rapping about less fortunate situations and touching people in less fortunate situations. So we're always with people in less fortunate situations. But sometimes people in less fortunate situations, and I say this because I was a person in a less fortunate situation, will do something to you because I'm in a less fortunate situation than you are. So then what we then have to avoid, opposed to the rich guy and the random rich guy who just gets rich, we have to avoid so many other things. So rappers think, or people think like, yo, you're a rapper, there's no way that you're doing these things that you're talking about. But sometimes it's like, yo, I actually have to do these things, not because I think that they're cool, but for me to stay alive and in the environment that I have to be in by fault or by default. Yeah. I have to do these things. You dig what I'm saying? And that's goes for some rappers, and it doesn't go the same way with other rappers, but it goes for some rappers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and some artists, like, not everybody's lying about their life. It's just some people have a different and more complicated life, based on whatever they came from and whatever relationships they had with who they had them with before they came up.
That makes perfect sense. And there's a line that you say that I think kind of sums up the track, and I think it's a very important message. It says, I think you learn from the bridge you burn when you see it burning. I think you learn from the world when you see it turning. Like, I thought that was so dope.
No, it's true. It's like, I think a lot of people burn bridges and don't know that they burn the bridge. You know, sometimes people you meet, you ever had something with somebody where it's like, yo, I don't, like, this person rubbed me the wrong way, and they did this, that, and third, and it's like, I'm never gonna, like, ever, like, I will never, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure I'm sure you've had a share of, I don't even know, maybe rappers that have come in here and been like, yo, what up, shawty, and just did it the wrong way or whatever, and rubbed you the wrong way, and it's just like, wow, I just, like, I feel violated. Like, I would never, like, out of my own, like, me doing a favor for this person, I wouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that happens, and I feel like people don't know that until the moment where they come back and they're like, yo, I need help with, and you're like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, I don't really, I don't f with you like that. And then it's like when you see the bridge burning or burnt, that's when you realize, damn, like, I fucked up.
Damn.
You know, and sometimes it takes people a long time to get to that realization that they burned a bridge.
Damn. No, it's so true. You know? So when I heard that, I was just like, yo, like, I hope people are really listening to that. It was like, it was really, really dope. Now, there is a song on the album that stood out big time, because there's only been one other track that's ever done this, like, that's just hit me in the gut and my heart. Like, this really happened to me, and it had nothing to do with me, but it was literally Immortal Techniques, Dance with the Devil. And I get to Pieces, and the entire time I was just like, there's only been one other song that's ever done that, and it just kind of stays with you, because I don't know, like, this story in Pieces, and I'm gonna let you break it down, almost felt like personal. On you feel the pain on on all sides, on every bit of that story, just like Dance with the Devil. Like, is this a real story?
It's real, but then some of it I had to kind of like eat around the facts of it because of the person's story that it is. And you know, even like me having to show her the song was like kind of like, you know, she was kind of like, yo, but I was like, yo, I'm not gonna ever say your name. I'm not gonna, it's just gonna be, you know, and I fictionalized this, that, and the third. It's like, all right. You know what I'm saying?
You did an amazing job at storytelling, let me tell you.
Nah, thank you.
Because I literally sat there and I was just like, after I heard it, I was just like, damn. And I'm not in anybody's shoes, not the mom, the uncle, the cousin, or the other cousin, like, but you just really feel it, and like it left me really thinking, like,
I just wanted to make a story, and just at least talk about something that's like not highlighted a lot. I think with like even just artists just telling stories about things that they've seen growing up. I just felt like the story of like girls who are raped, like it's just, it wasn't told. It was never really told enough throughout the rap community, and like with all of us having so much skills, it's like, why haven't we spoke on the rape victims?
Right.
Like, why haven't we spoke on, remember, it's 70% of women, and this is an actual fact that I found out, and this is what compelled me to writing the song too. 70% of women get sexually harassed at some age. That means that majority of the women that we know, as something in their lives at some point has happened. Somebody did something to some extent of sexual harassment to 70% of the women on planet Earth. Like, if 70, like, I don't think I understand.
No, it's 70%, a huge number. It's a huge number.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's a big number, like 70%. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's a big number, so it ends up being like where a lot of girls have these things that are like deep down and like deep, like, yo, I can't identify with this at all. I don't ever want to identify with this. I keep this in a box. I don't ever want to dig that box up again. It's too heavy for me. I don't want to dig that box up.
I think that it was really important for you to put a track like this on your album, especially after everything that's going on with Hollywood and Me Too and Time's Up, because just like you said, that number is so big that people don't realize that. And also a lot of people will be like, I even said it at one point, because I was fortunate enough to grow up with the mother that taught me from like literally this little, nobody's supposed to touch you inappropriately, not me, not your uncles, not your brothers. I don't give a damn, nobody. And you are to speak up. You need to tell me or tell somebody if it's happening. So I never held back, but I know so many of my friends that tell me stories, and I'm just like, how or why, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But like you said,
not everybody gets to have that.
Nobody.
Growing up, some people have these situations, and I'm not just trying to say girls only, because
it happens to boys
it happens to little boys too, and it happens to just people in general, where it's like it comes to a standpoint of like, I just wondered, like, damn, like what could somebody be thinking? And it's like that I thought about it, like, yo, I know somebody who, and then I started thinking about the story, and I called him like, yo, can I write about this? Like, you know what I'm saying? And she was kind of like, nigga, are you dumb? Like, and I was like, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna say your name. I'm not even gonna say the full story. You dig what I'm saying? And she was like, and I was like, the bigger picture is that I have to touch on this for the other females that have gone through the same thing. Dig what I'm saying? And she was just like, she was kind of taken back, but she was like, all right. And I did it, and I think God just kind of inspired, not even kind of, but he did inspire my pen, every word and line, and that's why I was able to do it so intricately. Like, I don't usually rap as intricate and like as visually, like, you can just see everything.
No, you know, I literally, like, I really put myself in that situation, and it's just really crazy how you were able to tell that story. And another thing that is really major about this track is that you got 50 Cent on this.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Nah, well, the thing about 50 was like, 50 is a dope dude. He just like, he's been like a mentor to me for a long time. He just like, I'm just happy because honestly, he didn't have to do this. Like, 50 is a great guy. He did not have to, like, he could have just been like, you know what, bro, this is dope, and left it at that. But he was like, he heard it, and I think just the fact of like the screenplay value of what he had and like how he heard it, he was like, I have to be a part of this. And when he sent his verse, because originally he was supposed to do the second verse, but for some reason I had just wrote a second verse just in case, and he sent a verse, and his verse sounded more like the narration of the overall, just like what's going on in this whole thing. And that's why from a cinematic standpoint, I put him on the starting and on the end, because it was like I wanted him to open and close the song as the person that's just like narrating this whole spectacle, if you will. You know?
And that was dope that you did that, though, because it was enough of 50. Like, I like that 50 didn't take over the track. Like, yeah, it's dope that he's featured, but he doesn't take over the track, if that makes any sense.
Exactly, 100%.
Like, it's a perfect
exactly
harmony.
What he was supposed to do, and just having that. I'm so glad that you're drinking with me, because I felt alone for a second.
Stop making fun of me. I told you.
I was feeling alone. Like I
told you it was going to take me forever to drink this. I got to babysit.
But yeah, like it felt good because he was like, he played this perfect part of everything. Like he played just the perfect role of just saying like, this is the story summary. You know, when he said this is like a little Pac, a little Nas, a little Brenda's having a baby.
So much like that.
I was like, I felt like, damn, like, I can't even believe 50 Cent just kind of put me in the category with Nas and Tupac for this storytelling stuff. But the story was so serious that it does go in that category.
It's a really deep story, and it's crazy how it really does. In the story, it's kind of, you hear a domino effect that happens and within it. And now also, like with you telling that story, what I hope the domino effect it causes, you know, talking about rape victims, you know, and that it brings that out to light. Has there been any advice that 50 shared with you during this? Like anything that just stood out to you, even personally, being an artist, whatever it may be?
He told me so many things that he probably doesn't even realize, like, that I stuck on to, like, and I can't even sit and highlight them all, but he just told me so many things that, like, I, like, took and grasped, and, like, I'm holding them near and dear to my, like, you know when someone's like, this was
it's mine.
Like, you know, I'm not giving this information to nobody, like I'm holding that information near and dear to my heart, and it's like, he just taught me so much in a little time that I had seen him, because every single time that I seen him, he shared so much knowledge with me, you know, and that to me is like more important than any business deal we could have, anything. Like the knowledge that I could soak up from the OG, like this is 50 Cent, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the knowledge that I could soak up from him means the world to me. I don't care, but he was on the same label as me. He knows the same people. He was in the same position. Came out, first album popping. Of course, he was on a whole different scale, but he was on the same position as me. He's been in my position. He likes cinema. I like cinema. You know what I'm saying? Like he cares about the same thing. So it's just dope for me.
Did you guys talk about anything that has to do with cinema or like?
Yeah, well, he's gonna be in a movie. We're doing a movie together.
Oh yeah?
We're doing a movie together for this album. It's a short film. It's not, I shouldn't say short film because it's gonna be like 50, 45, 60 minutes long. Okay. But it's like a real film. It's not a documentary. It's not some shit with music videos. Like it's a real like story, and it stems from the first album to the second album. So it's like I Told You Memories Don't Die is the name. So
what you doing there?
I told you and memories don't die, and then it's like how somebody would say to you, I told you memories don't die. Like, you know what I mean? Like
No, it flows. It really flows, and it makes sense. Like to be getting that type of advice, or even having him work with you on that. I think that something that I love about 50. I feel a lot of people are like either hard or cold with him. You know, there's no in between with 50. But I love how he can go from street to business in a hot second. It's like he could be like the street person, but just he's so damn smart with his business. He's super dope.
Nah, he's the guy.
Now, one that touched my heart in a whole different level is Happiness Tell Me.
Yeah,
because you're talking about your mom, and I lost my mom when I was 13.
Oh wow, I lost my mom when I was 11.
And it is one of the deepest pains I'll ever know.
Crazy.
Ever in my life. So when I was listening to this song, I'm not gonna lie, I was crying.
I cried making it.
You did?
3-4 times.
Why? Like what was it?
When people tell me that they cried to Happiness on the album, it's like I know you cried, because it's like I cried, and anytime I ever cried doing a song, that's only happened to me like 3 or 4 times in my career, and like anytime I ever cry trying to make a record, it's because it's hitting me so hard in the chest that it's like I couldn't finish the record. I had to do it 3 different times, and I know that emotion ends up getting evoked out of people because of what I've put into it, you know. So it's like anytime that happens, it's like I get it, because I cried making the record, you know.
I'm gonna tell you why I cried, because you said, I see happiness when I find you, I see happiness when I find you. Now you're up in the clouds looking at the sky too. Tell me about it. Tell me all about it. It's like some people don't realize necessarily. I feel like a lot of people will say, "Oh, sorry for your loss," or mind you, it's been years since my mom passed. Okay,
of course,
but you don't ever stop missing them. You don't ever every single bone in my body, everything. It's like I always think of her. So when you say, "I find," or "I see happiness when I find you," it's like, to me, it's like when I think about my darker times, I do find happiness. It's the weirdest thing.
It's crazy, because like you think about these golden times that you had with your mom or whatever it is, and it's like they kind of bring this light in you, but it's a bittersweet feeling.
it really truly is.
Feeling, you know?
What are some of those moments? Like for me personally, it's like, which I loved your album cover, by the way, because the balloons just remind me of birthdays, of those memories. My mom, we never had a lot, but she would always make my birthday so special. Always.
That's crazy.
And I was a fan of balloons would like.
That's
it was
crazy.
Like everything to me.
That's crazy that you say that, because for me, the reason why all the balloons are in my album cover was because they are they're different. They're different. They stand for different memories. Every color stands for a different type of memory, whether it was a happy one, a sad one.
Let's try this yellow one.
Okay, for yellow, like for instance, yellow was like when I was times where it was very bright, things were very happy. I remember there was this one Christmas where my mom and my dad, I woke up and there was no Christmas presents under the tree, right? And I remember they put us all on this like scavenger hunt. We went on the tree and there was this note under the tree, and it was like, you have to go to da 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 da. And they put us on a scavenger hunt where all our gifts were at in the house. Like we had to find the gifts because there was different notes.
Yeah, that's so dope.
It was so hard, like, you know what I'm saying? And
so creative.
I remember like just going on this, because every one of us had a different note. So it's like
you have a lot of siblings.
I have 6.
6.
Well, I am the 6th. Well, I guess now
you have 5.
My dad just had 2 new ones.
Okay. Well, prior to this,
it was 6 of us, and I was the youngest out of 6 kids.
Okay, so for those people that have gone through these hard times, and especially like losing someone that you love so much, what advice can you give to them?
Honestly, like, time will heal the wound of like the first mourning that you have, and like the fact that like you just lost somebody. It's like it hurts a lot right now. So at the end of the day, nobody expects you to get over it, or like if people ever look at you with that stature of like get over it, you don't ever have to get over it. It's just a matter of understanding that it will heal with time, you know, and death is not always a time of mourning. It's also a celebration of the life that took place and that has graced everybody and that has made everybody smile and be happy. And the people that go also bring people together. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, not to say death is a good thing, but death is a part of life, and you have to accept it as a part of life because that's what it is, you know. And it's just one of those things where in life, everybody dies, but at the same time, everybody lives a life where they can leave a legacy, and you can leave your imprint on the world. And when people leave their imprint on the world and everybody's crying and everyone's mourning, it's because their imprint on the world meant a lot, you know. So
that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of Dia de los Muertos for us Latin Spanish people. It's huge actually in Mexico. And something that I wanted to talk to you about, you teased that you have a Latin project coming out.
I do.
What's that all about?
Yeah, it's gonna be a crazy project. I live in Miami, so you know I'm in tune with a lot of the Spanish artists and like a lot of people, and it's fucked up because all of them love me, like, you know what I'm saying? I find out that, like, yo, there's this whole other community of music that I can get into, and so I start trying to learn Spanish a little bit. I'm not fluent, but I'm pretty.
You're learning?
I'm learning, like, you know, and just making incredible songs that sound like Tory Lanez, the English singer. Okay. It's no difference of the sound of the music. It sounds the same, but it's just like I'm speaking Spanish now.
I like that. Now tell me, have you already like linked up with any Spanish artists?
Yeah, I got this on the project. You got Ozuna on it. You got Nicki Jams. You got Prince Royce, Farruko.
Shut up.
Yeah,
you have literally all of those already?
Yeah, I got them all already. And then you got other people too. I want to get Bad Bunny as well, and hopefully we'll get him. And J Balvin also. He told me he's gonna jump on the project. Maluma, actually, I am gonna get him too. He will be on the project because I did a record for him too. How the hell do you get
all of these top?
It's crazy. They love me. It's like they love me and I love them. So it's like it works full heartedly. And like also like my assistant is a Spanish dude who's like very connected. Like his name's Ray. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He be moving up and down and just like getting all the connections weird. Like sometimes he just bring these people to me. Also, I gotta shout out this dude named Eazy. Eazy, the producer. He's this dude who from the beginning he just believed in like me doing this Spanish music, and I love him and I appreciate him for that, because it was a point where I was like, damn, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but he just always pushed me, like, you know what I'm saying, like, nah, that's awesome. Sounds good, like, you know what I'm saying, like.
Well, I really hope that he has your back. Before you leave here, I want you to make me one promise. You had to pinky promise on it.
I got you. What's
okay?
up?
Because I'm very proud.
I pinky promise first.
Because I'm very proud of being Latina, and I'm very protective when people try to speak that Spanish or sing that Spanish. Promise me.
My Spanish is correct.
Come correct with your Spanish, okay?
Correct. You know what I do, just so everybody knows?
Because I'm going to be the first one talking shit to you.
Of course, ahead of time, just so everybody knows, like, I sit in a room with all my Dominican dudes, and we go through every single line. Like, it's serious. Like, it's like, yo, this doesn't make sense, bro. Do not sing this. Like, if it doesn't make sense, like, I'm not, like, we not, it's like, yo, switch that.
Dope. I'm going to be looking out for that. Thank you very much, Tory. Memories Don't Die, out now. Get it.
Yeah.